His name is Finnesand, and he is part of North Point Worship. They're going to be chatting, and then Clay's going to sing a song. So let's listen in.
Well, Finnesand from North Point Worship. Dude, thank you so much for hopping on to the JUCE House Party. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good. Today's a good day. I have a lot planned. I'm going to be sitting on my couch, and then maybe I'll stand up at some point. So it's a big day ahead.
Maybe go outside. Do you have a balcony at least?
No balcony, no balcony. But I do, I have a good view of my backyard. So sometimes I'll just look out and look at the grass, and it's very entertaining. So
you just look at the grass. You don't go step on the grass.
no, never step on the grass.
Okay. Hey, you know what? To each their own. Well, so Clay, how has quarantine been for you? I mean, what have you been keeping yourself busy with other than watching grass and sitting on the couch?
Man, when you put it like that, it sounds like I am the most boring person of all time. Well, recently I've rediscovered a love of Monopoly, and I found out that you can play it online. And so you can get it on your phone or whatever. And so I've just been playing strangers in Monopoly probably 7 times a day.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, the most I've done in one day so far, I think, is 5. But playing a lot of Monopoly, trying to read. It's funny. It's one of those things where you're always hoping, oh, when I have more time, then I'll do this. And then when you actually have more time, you're like, you don't do anything that you've planned. So I'm trying to manage my time well. I think that's been the biggest challenge of, okay, I've got all this extra time on my hands now. How do I not waste it? And how do I spend this time well? Still have fun, but be wise with an opportunity.
So Clay, with North Point, so are you guys taking this time to do a lot of writing?
Yeah, we're doing some FaceTime, Skype writings, kind of like this. But yeah, it's been a little tricky. For the first week or so, we, while social distancing was just becoming a thing, we were still trying to meet in small groups, have appropriate distance, just to create little worship moments that we could put online, share with our church, share with our students, to kind of help bridge the gap of not being so alone. However, now regulations are getting a little more strict, and we want to honor those and also make sure that nobody is in a situation that they feel could compromise their health or the health of a loved one. So we're not meeting anymore, which has been a bummer. We're a band, but we're also best friends and family. So it's hard to not see each other all the time. But yeah, we're trying. I think actually today or tomorrow I'm hopping on a FaceTime, and we're gonna try to write. So we're finding ways to keep connected, but it's definitely a new little challenge to hurdle. But I think we're making it through, and we've started a new group chat with the band where everyone's sending memes and stuff like that. So it's been lighthearted, and we've been, honestly, I think we're getting closer now than we have before, just because of the circumstances is forcing us to communicate. So it's been a challenge, but a good one.
Yeah, it's crazy how being apart can cause people to actually come together in just this in a different way. It's like, oh, you actually have to talk and make an effort to reach out to connect.
Well, and it's a common denominator. I mean, yesterday I went to go pick up some food from a restaurant in Chipotle, and they everybody's only doing takeout, and we walked in, and I ended up having a great conversation with the folks that were working there, just because we already have this one thing in common, even though we don't know each other. So we ended up talking for 5 minutes or so, and it was great. So it's been interesting how total strangers are now in the same boat as you and I, and it's a good jumping place to have a relationship with them that you might otherwise not have.
Totally. That's awesome. And I saw that you guys just released a couple songs back in February. And
Yes.
and I read, did I see you guys are trying to write 12 more this year, or?
Yeah,
or even more
we're
than that?
planning on releasing. I believe originally the plan was to put out 2 songs, I think, a month. But due to we're not able to get in the studio really, and the way we're tracking stuff at home and kind of sending it in, so it's slowing down the process a little bit. But I think we're trying still. The last 2 that came out, I believe, Nothing Else Matters and Just Getting Started. and now I believe we're just getting the mix, I think today, for one of our new songs. And there's another song. So yeah, we're working to try to get some stuff out and keep things moving, but it may not be as many as we hope for this year, but hopefully it'll still be a couple ones that we really believe in and have really helped us along the way too.
That's awesome, man. And so you're going to do a song for us today.
Yes.
And what song is that?
It's called Wide Open. Let me go ahead and I'll grab my guitar and I can tell you guys a little bit about the song, if that's all right.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, this song, it came out a little while ago, and this song is actually one of the, so I tried writing worship songs before and like in college and stuff, and it always flopped, like never went over well. So I just thought, you know what, I'm terrible at this. I'll just write songs for just Jesus to hear. He can hear him, and it'll just be between me and him. And then I went through one of the first true heartaches of my life where I had dated a girl for a long time and we broke up. And at the same time, dealing with things with my family, you know, as I'm getting older and as my siblings are getting older, we're learning how to relate to our parents in a new way, and learn how to relate to each other in a new way. And I had just moved to this new city. I had moved to Atlanta. And I still didn't really know anybody that well around North Point, the church that I'm at. I didn't know the band very well. So I was feeling really alone and really afraid of what was next for me. And kept feeling, I heard a friend tell me as her and her husband were moving to Portland, Oregon, that she said, hey, on the other side of all the things that we've ever been afraid of, we know that God has been there. And there was this basically like invitation that I picked up. What she was saying was, okay, if there's this wall that I perceive and I perceive I'm on this side and God's here and this wall is fear, that must mean if God is everywhere, that on the other side of that wall that I perceive is going to take away God's love or keep me from his love, he must also be there too. But I didn't get to experience that until I took steps of obedience myself and walked through the fear. And then I found out that those things that I was afraid of were paper thin. And then also another little backstory behind this song. I was in Disney World of all places, and I was in line at the I think it's a Small World, and there was a little plaque on the, like, you know how in Disney World there's plaques everywhere as you're walking through the lines to keep you entertained, and there's just a line that said, "You can't run from trouble. There's no place that far." And I was like, okay, yeah, but also if you're a believer in Jesus, David writes about this in the Psalms. Like, even if I make my bed in the depths, you're still there. When I wake, you're there. When I go to sleep, you're there. So just trying to live in this awareness, and I'm still trying to, you know, every single day trying to figure it out, like that if God is with me everywhere and he's on the other side of my fears, then what am I gaining from living in fear and worry? Why don't I just walk through those things knowing that he's not only with me here, he's with me then, and he'll be with me on the way. And so, yeah, this was just kind of a take on what David said and then what Paul said in Romans, that there's nothing that can separate us from the love of God. So yeah, it's called Wide Open.
All right, man.
Awesome. I'll just play it for you guys. No height, no depth, no life or final breath could ever separate us from your love. No failure, no mistake, no loneliness or pain could ever separate us from your love. 'Cause on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you were standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonders, you were standing with your arms wide open, wide open. I'm healed, made strong, Yeah, I found where I belong. Forever I'm alive now in your love. I'm changed, unchained by your amazing grace. Forever I'm alive now in your love. 'Cause on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you are standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonders, you are standing with your arms wide open. Oh, if I make my bed in darkness, if I try my best to hide, you know the farthest ocean, you give the morning its light. I can't run from your presence, 'cause there's no place that far. So I run to you, my Savior. There's safety in your arms. Oh, yes, I'm safe here in your arms. Oh, 'cause on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Yes, even in my deepest doubts and wonders, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open.
Amazing. Oh, dude, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh,
Yeah, man, that song has become a really special one for our church, and it's been kind of after the fact a sweet reminder to me, that our trials, we consider them a joy, because they're developing our faith and our perseverance and our endurance, and then we don't have need for anything. And it's comforting to me that trials are something that are temporary, which means that they're also a once and eternity opportunity, to have our faith perfected and have our endurance grown, that we're not going to get one day. Once we're in that glory, we don't have the trials anymore. So right now, it actually is something we can be grateful for and thank God for, because it's developing us in a way that we'll never be able to after the fact. So yeah, it's cool to see that God has used that song, and I'm grateful that you guys let me share it.
Super cool, man. Well, Clay, dude, thank you so much for jumping onto the JUCE House Party. It's been great to chat with you. Thank you so much for the song.
Of
And
course.
we hope to talk to you soon.
JJ, thanks for your time today, and everybody be safe. Love you guys.
See you, man.